What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. In this video, I want to cover the Robert Guerrero versus Andre Berto fight. I'm not going to make it too long, just give some predictions on the fight and my reasons for it. Basically, what I see with this fight, Andre Berto, as you guys know, he tested positive last year for steroid usage. He was supposed to rematch with Victor Ortiz. That fight didn't happen. And then he went through all the channels and the commissions, and he was banned for a short period of time or a year or whatever. So he's been out of commission for, I believe, 14 months. So a year and 2 months he's been inactive in terms of actually having a paid fight. It looks like he maintained his shape and stayed in the gym. I've seen some recent videos with him training, his training camp, and it looks like he's in tremendous shape. It looks like he's in good shape. He looks pretty shredded, pretty cut up. And I honestly think Andre Berto will beat Robert Guerrero. Robert Guerrero is definitely, he's no pushover, but my reason for for thinking this is because Robert Guerrero, I think he was more effective at the lower weight, like 130, 135. Just judging off his last fight, and I know that it was his first fight at 147, the welterweight limit. But Ayedin and Robert Guerrero fight. Robert Guerrero, it didn't look like he had the power to really. He like barely skated by, in my opinion, in that particular fight. Ayedin is known as having power, and he's a slow fighter. Um, and it just looked like he was just kind of on the back foot and barely keeping him off. And some of the later rounds, it looked like Guerrero was pretty fatigued, and it could be coming from just moving up in weight. And he was inactive for some time himself because his wife had cancer, I believe, and he took some time away from the sport to deal with that and help her out. So that's definitely commendable. Robert Guerrero, he seems like a nice guy, a humble guy, but just this is business. So my prediction is Andre Berto. I just think he has more intangibles that will give Robert Guerrero problems. Robert Guerrero did show that he had a chin against Ayedin, but the biggest thing with a fighter like Berto and Ayedin is the speed. Ayedin is a slow fighter, whereas Andre Berto is a more explosive, fast-paced fighter. So those are the punches you really have to worry about, the ones you don't see coming. And to have speed and power, which is probably two of the best skill sets that Andre Berto has, I would say that makes him more deadly than Ayedin, because you can kind of formulate a game plan and you can kind of see the punches coming a little bit more against a slower fighter than someone who's a lot more explosive. And just other than that, I just think Andre Berto, he's been absent for 14 months, so over a year from the sport. So it looks like he's pretty hungry, and I can imagine that he wouldn't want to go back to the shadows where his name is not really buzzing or he's not really relevant in the sport. So I think he'd be hungry. He won his last fight, and he lost his fight right before that to against Victor Ortiz. That was like a fight of the year candidate, or the fight of the year in a lot of people's eyes. Um, and just with the steroid cloud over him, and the Victor Ortiz, since they never got to rematch and square away, I think he's going to be really focused. And again, I think he doesn't want to disappear back into. I think he likes the limelight, and he wants to be known as, a pound for pound contender. So I think it'll be real focused. It looks like I said, he's in great shape, and I just see Robert Guerrero's power. Even though it's his second fight, he said he feels. I was watching an interview. He said he feels better at the weight. I really just don't see him beating Andre Berto. I just think the speed and the power will overwhelm him. If Robert Guerrero were to win, which is not what I think will happen, it would probably be via unanimous decision. I don't really see him knocking out Andre Berto. That's just my opinion. Andre Berto went up against Victor Ortiz, who hits a lot harder, in my opinion. And Victor Ortiz, during the Mayweather fight, I think he was weighing like 163 or 167 fight night. So Victor Ortiz is a very big welterweight, whereas Robert Guerrero is somebody, he's a small welterweight. He moved up probably to get more notable fights, bigger paydays, and that kind of thing. So I just don't see that transitioning to the point where he'll be able to convincingly beat um, Andre Berto. Other thing is like Robert Guerrero versus Ayadin. He was kind of running the fight. If you watch that fight again, he was kind of on the back foot and running and trying not to get caught. So I think that's a whole different ball game when you get in there with the Andre Berto, who has power to knock you out as well as speed, which is something that Ayadin lacks. And Ayadin, after in the post-fight interview, he was saying he didn't really have his game plan. It wasn't coming together like he predicted. Whereas I think Andre Berto would have a little bit better game plan just because he has something to prove. People haven't seen him in 14 months, so like I said, I think he'll be real focused. Um, the only other thing with Andre Berto is sometimes he looks fatigued, just having such an explosive style. Sometimes he looks better in the beginning rounds, like the first 5-6 rounds, and as the fight wears on, it doesn't look like he has the same type of stamina as someone like a Floyd Mayweather, who seems to get better and better as the fight progresses. So hopefully he did some in his training camp to kind of counteract that or work on his endurance and his stamina. Um, so that's basically it. That's my prediction. Andre Berto, either by decision or probably a KO within the first 6 rounds. And like I said, I know Robert Guerrero has a chin, and I know he's not a pushover, and he's coming to fight, which is good. It should be good. I mean, it's going to definitely be an explosive fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing what both fighters have to offer. So let me know what your predictions are. Let me know what you think. Make sure you guys subscribe and or comment on the video. Hate on the video. It really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I'm still getting the views. So until next video, it's Ego signing off.